What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Desert Crypto here for Crypto Nightly. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get some people in here. For whatever reason, is it not promoting the live stream? Let's see here. Let's see what is going on. It shows live now. And absolutely nobody watching. Wow. All right. Well, I am just going to go through it like we got people watching. All right. If you guys are catching this on the replay, my name is Desert Crypto. This is Crypto Nightly, coming live to you every weekday at 5 p.m. PST. As you can see, I got my neck brace off. I went and seen the doctor today, and he told me I was good to go without a neck brace for a few hours every day. So, of course, I used that time to go without the neck brace now during the stream. Well, if we get nobody in here, then I don't know if this stream is going to go on or not. So, but everything is going good with the surgery, according to the doctor. So, but yeah, I'm not seeing anybody in here. Wow. All right. I'll give it a few minutes. I will give it a few minutes, see if anybody shows up. That's crazy that there's absolutely nobody in here. There we go. We got one person in here. There we go. What's up, Dangu? All right. Now I can start the live stream. All right, everybody. Welcome to Crypto Nightly. I am Desert Crypto, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. PST. As you can see, the neck brace is off. Doc went ahead and said that I can have it off a few hours a day. And then here in a few more weeks, I will be able to take it off entirely. And it is Thursday. Happy Thursday. And the markets are red for sure. So when we come, Bitcoin just kind of slide in a little bit, hit the top level of the trim or the trend that we were talking about last night. Let's go ahead and just get into it. And as more people show up, they can catch up. They can start from the beginning. They can do whatever they got to do. So, all right. Let's go back. Boom. All right. Looking at Bitcoin right here. You can see last night, put out this area right here. Let's go ahead and there we go. So went ahead and put out this area right here. Boom. And you can see we came down and hit right off of the top of this and then went back up. I still think we have a little bit more downside to go, probably down right around here, around the 21. But the Stokes are starting to turn a little bit. And when we bring up the oscillators, the VWAP is turning in and money flow has flattened out. So money's not coming out as much anymore. And the oscillators have, the VWAP has started to turn. So once this goes, the momentum is going to be a lagging indicator. And when we come down here to the 4-hour, you can see that the Stokes bottomed out, have turned, and started going back to the upside. You know, the last 4-hour candle was a nice engulfing green candle on the 4-hour. So it could be starting to turn around, but we're not out of the woods yet. In my opinion, we're gonna have to break this trend line right here. You know, we can break this trend line, get back above 122, and then start getting into start looking for a new all-time high. So, but let's check the broader market, see what's going on. All right. As you can see, we'll get the freshest data real quick. We got the market cap coming in at 4.24 trillion with one down 1.6%, 24-hour volume 207 billion. Bitcoin dominates at 57.2, Ethereum at 12.4, and 0.11 Gwei to send to ETH transactions. So you can see nobody is using ETH right now. Coming down here, Bitcoin coming in at 121,732, down 1.3%. Ethereum at 43.70, down 3.4%. BNB at 12.57, down 3.8, taking a much needed breather. We got XRP at 281, down 2.4. We have Solana at 221, down 3.3. Doge at 24.87, down 2.7. We have Tron at 33.68, down 1.5, and Cardano at 81.57, down 2.7. So let's take a look at the biggest winners. Zcash still killing it, still pumping. 21 up 21.8%. Provenance hash, Provenance blockchain up 7.8, Litecoin up 6.7, BitTensor up 2.6, Monero up 2.4, and Figure HELOC. What is that? $13 billion market cap. What is this? Max. This only goes back to August 26th. As a home equity line of credit from fintech lender Figure. So never heard of it before. I don't know where it came from. Must have, well, back in August, I was still dealing with a lot of stuff. I wasn't really into the market, so that could be why. Going back to, let's check out the biggest losers. And we got Mantle down 3.2. We got Astra down 11.7. We have Pump.Fun still falling down 9.6. Pudgy down 7.1. OKB down 6.3. WorldCoin down 6.1. Stake Type, Hyperliquid, all down. So still not looking too good for the market. A little lackluster on the day. Pre-market, we are up a little bit on the pre-market. You know, the Dow's up 62 points, S&P up 10, NASDAQ, oil. So oil real quick. Right here, breaking. Where did it go? I just had it. Here we go. Breaking. Senate clears bill to unleash oil, gas, and mineral drilling in Alaska. The U.S. Senate has given final passage 50-46 to a bill reversing a Biden-era restriction and opening vast parts of Alaska to new oil, gas, and mineral deployment. The measure, already approved by the House, now leads to Trump's desk for a signature. Republicans say the move delivers on Trump's promise to supercharge American drilling and mining, marking a major win for the U.S. energy expansion. Love it or hate it, this should lead, the speculation on this should lead to lower gas prices. You know, this is kind of the whole point. When Biden killed the Keystone pipeline and all that stuff, and he killed, drilling in Alaska, that's when the speculation hit and gas prices just went through the roof, and we haven't been back since, right? So hopefully this brings them down a little bit. That would be nice to see. The actual market does not look like it has acted on this yet. So Well, it actually, let's see here. Let's expand. So from yesterday to today, it did go down. Oil did come down a little bit. So hopefully we can see that continue to come down. Looking at the fear and greed index. Let's see here. What's going on up here? Markets are bleeding. Yes, they are bleeding. Red everywhere. What's up, Crypto King? What's up, Chef Reckless? Check that silver chart. Yep, silver all-time high, over $50. Looking awesome. Boom, boom, boom. Coming over here to the fear and greed index. We are back in the greed at 71, which is kind of weird because the markets are bleeding, right? So the markets are bleeding. Fear and greed went up instead of down, which is crazy, but it is what it is. So looking at liquidations, let's get the freshest data. So on the 24-hour, coming in at 691 million in liquidations, and most of them are long. 526 million from long. Bitcoin and Ethereum pretty much splitting right here. 191 and 186. So we got that. All right, back over here, Max Payne. Max Payne is a little change. Deribit still 118,000, and that is for tomorrow. So, I mean, we could hang out in right here in this area, until after expiry tomorrow, till options expire and everything like that. Binance is, sitting at 120,000 with 331 million. So, but it is not all doom and gloom. Was 126K the top for Bitcoin? Absolutely not. And I mean, well, I am betting my money that it's not, right? So absolutely not. And when we come over here, we got Lark Davis right here with a cool little metric. So 450 Bitcoin are mined per day, right? But ETFs are regularly buying more than miners can even produce. And that's not counting corporate treasuries, retail DCA, hedge funds. We are not bullish enough. The supply squeeze is going to be generational. And you can see, so the flat line right here is the mining. It's about 450. And then the orange line is the ETF inflows. And while we are coming back down, we've barely come back down to the point of control to say, right at what is being mined. But look at all this up here. We're talking, what's that, 1,200? 1,200 being pulled per day. And then we go on here, 1.5 trillion Deutsche Bank says central banks may hold significant amounts of Bitcoin and gold by 2030. Bullish, right? And then Arthur Hayes just dropped a new essay. So Arthur Hayes, for those of you who don't know who he is, he's an OG Bitcoin guy. I want to say it was Bitunix was his company, but real OG Bitcoin guy. Arthur Hayes just dropped a new essay, and his take is pretty much simple. 4-year cycle is dead, and a new bear market is not around the corner. Hayes says Bitcoin doesn't pump because of halvings. It pumps when liquidity flows. And it does kind of make sense, but that's really like the halving creates a supply shock. And if liquidity, which is demand, is coming in at the same pace and the supply gets cut in half, that creates a pump in the price. And past crashes weren't caused by supply and demand cool-offs. They were caused by monetary tightening. And right now, global liquidity is expanding again. Fed is cutting interest rate. Trump wants stimulus. Japan and China are easing. Money is about to get cheaper and plentiful, and that's why the top isn't coming anytime soon. And it's quite possible because we get 2 more rate cuts this year. Trump brings in a new head of the Fed, right? He appoints a new head of the Fed. When he does that, they're going to be on his agenda, right? He's not going to appoint somebody that's not on his agenda. And his agenda is getting that that Fed rate as low as possible, to zero if possible. So, you know, they're going to start cutting. So we see cuts Q1, Q2. I mean, it could, you know, we could see a sell-off towards the end of the year, and then we start getting these cuts. Boom, boom, boom. It starts getting bigger and bigger, right? And then we also have Luxemburg. So Luxemburg's sovereign wealth fund has invested 1% of its portfolio into Bitcoin's ETFs, making the first move by a Eurozone state fund. Okay. And that 1% is about 8 million, I believe. So that brings us into our article on Luxembourg. So Luxembourg's sovereign wealth fund invests in Bitcoin. Luxembourg's sovereign wealth fund has allocated approximately 8 million to Bitcoin ETFs, making it the first Eurozone country to do so. Luxembourg became the first European nation to invest in Bitcoin, allocating 1% of its 811 million sovereign wealth fund to Bitcoin ETFs. The approximately 8 million investment marks a shift from the fund's conservative strategy of bonds and equities to include alternative assets. Treasury Dictator says the allocation strikes the right balance while signaling confidence in Bitcoin's long-term potential. So basically, they converted a small portion of its holdings into Bitcoin. And then, you know, the FISL, or Luxembourg's International Sovereign Wealth Fund, when it's translated from French, reported last month that it holds 811 million portfolio, 57 bonds, 40% in equities, 3% in cash. So a 1% allocation to Bitcoin ETFs is roughly $8 million. So, you know, now we have sovereign wealth funds entering Bitcoin. I guess we've already had them, but now, you know, we have more. And then on top of this, Bitcoin Jesus, Roger Ver. Some of you guys know him. If you haven't read Bitcoin Billionaires or anything like that, essentially it's the story of the Winklevi. And, it includes Charlie Shrem, Roger Ver, Tyler, or the Winklevi, everybody from the OGs and the cypherpunks and everything like that are in this book. Awesome book. But so crypto entrepreneur Roger Ver, known as Bitcoin Jesus, will have his tax evasion case dropped as part of a tentative deal, the New York Times reports. The crypto entrepreneur Roger Ver, originally known as Bitcoin Jesus, has reached a tentative agreement with the Justice Department that could result in his criminal case being dropped, according to a report. A Thursday report by the New York Times cited two people familiar with the matter who said that the 46-year-old Ver had agreed to pay $48 million to end the tax fraud case. And essentially this comes from, so he sold a bunch of Bitcoin in 2017, and they're saying, but had not informed the IRS about his gains he had made. The DOJ indictment alleged that Ver and his company hid from the authorities that he owned 131,000 Bitcoin back in 2014. And, Roger Ver, Roger Ver is a big libertarian. It's quite possible that he hid it, right? He is definitely a small government type of guy. So it's quite possible he hid it. And he did appeal to Trump when Trump was handing out pardons. He did appeal to Trump to get pardoned. Obviously, he didn't do it. So seems like they came to an agreement, and he'll be paying $48 million, in taxes. But other than that, it is a slow news day. I don't have much other than that going on. Go back, take a look at some charts. Anybody wants me to take a look at a chart real quick, we can do that. But this will probably be a short one tonight. Looking at Bitcoin. Let's see here. We are getting a green dot on the 4 hour on the momentum. We're crossed over on the Stokes. We need to break that median line. We need to break that median line on the RSI real quick. Start pushing back to the upside. And you can see we're up. We're even up a little bit. Today's candle. It's trying. Let's go down. little further. Let's see here. This is not good. 1 hour below the 200. This definitely has to get back above the 200. You know, we're trying to get above the 21 right now. So we're going to need to flip that 21, get back above the 200, and then break this trend line. Ethereum. Stokes are a little high on the 1 hour for Ethereum. Let's look at the daily. We have the Stokes pointed down. We have the RSI has broken back below the median line right now. Big engulfing red candlestick today for Ethereum. So I do not believe the bleeding is over. So, and when we come look at Ethereum, we can bring up on the daily. We obviously have, you know, we have the local high right here, right? 49.57, 49.62 right there, 49.57. We have some more. We have support down here at about 38. Here, let's get rid of that. Let's go like that. And you can see if we adjust this a little bit. Boom. I mean, that aligns perfect, right? Right here, the bottom of these candles, right here, the top of these candles, wick, 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 wick. So we do have good support at 38.68. Let's get rid of this and draw a horizontal. Bring this down. There we go. So, and there's your all-time high right there at 49.62. So basically, we are just in this range, and until we break either up or break down, that's all it is. It's just a waiting game. Just playing this range right here. We could be seeing something like this. Oops. You know, maybe we'll come down, get another boom, inverted head and shoulders pump. So, hashtag DSCO. I don't know what that means, sir. Not sure what that means. DSCO. I don't know what you guys are talking about there. So, all right. Well, if nobody has any charts they want to look at or anything like that, I guess I am going to call it. Tomorrow I'll be don't sleep on Crawju. That's right. Don't sleep on Crawju. We can take a look at Crawju real quick. Let me see here. We can take a look at that. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look great. We are below the 21 on the daily. Let's get some more. Let's see here. So RSI is down. Well, what do we got here? You know, he wants some freaking hopium, right? Boom. We do have a slight bullish div on the 4 hour, but we are down below the 21 and the 2 hour, right? So, but you got to remember these small cap coins, and this is a small cap coin. We're at about 119 million in market cap. The entire freaking market is down. So this is not going to pump against the narrative for sure. You know, I bet if we put it against ADA, I bet it's holding up a little bit better. It's about the same, actually. Chart looks about the same. Still got that nice bull div, though. Boom. Downward price action. Oops. Here, get that up a little bit. Downward price action with a slightly higher high on the RSI. So, you know, do got a little bit of a bull div. Like to see these Stokes reset. Like to see it get a nice pump, at least get back over the 21 and then cross back over the 200. But anything can happen with in ADA. Oh my goodness. So it's even in ADA, it's only a 1.5 million market cap. Somebody could come in, hit it with a 50,000 ADA buy, and boom, it pumps 5%, 10%. And next thing you know, bam, we're over the 21. We're on our way back above the 200, right? So that's the thing with these small caps. 15. Yeah, that's below the 200 on everything. But other than that, God candle coming soon to Crawju. You got some more an hour ago. Nice. God candle coming soon. Boom. All right. Well, I think I am going to call that the show tonight then. There's only about 4 people in here. And it has been a crazy day going to the doctor, coming back. Even though I'm able to take my neck brace off, I can't be putting a lot of stress on it. So I am probably going to go rest my neck, so to speak. And I will be back in here tomorrow, though. Hopefully we got some more news tomorrow. There's just a dead red day. You know, it's kind of crazy. So, all right, everybody. Same time tomorrow, 5 p.m. PST. Hit that like button, share, all that good stuff. You know what to do. Definitely will be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. PST. See you then.